My name is Daniel Young. I'm the Vice President for GHATS. I'm here with my athletic trainer from my undergraduate, Howard Payne University, Mike Terrill.
I'm Mike Terrill. I'm the Program Director at Howard Payne University.
And we're here to talk with him about the BOC changes, the BOC rollout, and how he thinks it will affect his program and just the world of athletic training in Texas. So, what do you think?
Sure. Well, as everybody in the athletic training world knows, this has been a long process. It's not like this shouldn't have surprised anyone. You stayed on top of what's coming out anyway for a while, and there's been lots of controversy around it. And it's at the point now, as a program director and as an athletic trainer for 25 years now, it's here, and what are we going to do about it? And I had some great conversations this last summer at SWATA with the new board chair for Katie and some of the other administration coming in from the BOC and from, of course, our NATA board rep and looking at where are we going in athletic training and what the BOC is trying or what we're driving towards and how these changes are going to affect all that. I really think it's going to be a very positive change in the long run. There are some concerns about what the short-time impact is going to be. That was my biggest concern with all of this, is how's it going to impact my students that are coming to Howard Payne? And more importantly, what's that going to do to the number of, my main concern was the athletic trainers in high school setting, because I think that's where we belong. I'm a traditionalist.
I agree. That. I think we all agree.
And I want to keep what we have going right in Texas, which is we have athletic trainers in the school setting. And that's what we need. And so I think the big concern that a lot of people have is this going to be a real negative impact on that? I really don't think so. Now that I've stepped back and looked at it, for one thing, right now we have 14 accredited programs in the state of Texas, both graduate and undergraduate. I've talked to all those program directors. We email each other and talk all the time. And I don't know, nobody has said, oh no, we're dropping it. We're not going to do it. So that means our number of programs is not really going to change. Now, it will in 2022 have to go to be a graduate program. I know myself and several other programs, I won't throw them under the bus, I'll let them do that to themselves. We're going to stay an undergraduate program until 2022. Until that last class I can take it, I'm going to take that. Now we're also going to be developing our master's program and having it ready to go and probably start taking some students to that even before then to keep the demand. I mean, that's the great thing we have in Texas is demand. So the issue on what it's going to do for demand, we're really just going to have to see, because I don't know. I think if we have all 14 schools still putting out students, if we can still keep the same number of students coming out, even though it does have to be on a master's level, then hopefully it won't diminish the number of athletic trainers we have available to do what we're doing right in Texas, which is having athletic trainers in the school setting. There's been a lot of talk about what's going to do to salaries. I think we'll have to see. I think as athletic trainers, we've been promised a lot in salaries in different areas, and as a college athletic trainer, and then now as a program director, I still see my students coming out making more money than me in just a few years after coming out. So got to say that, again, that traditional setting is really working well here in Texas.
Yeah.
I don't see that being a huge change. I think what's going to drive the market and the value of what you're being paid as an athletic trainer is not going to be so much about the degree, it's still going to be the demand. Demand is going to drive it. And as long as we can keep the demand high in Texas, I think our salary is going to stay in good shape. But I think they've definitely, huge improvement in my term since I've been an athletic trainer in the last 25 years. Salaries have gone in the right direction, especially in what I like, the high school traditional setting. So I don't see a big change in that impacting us here. Now, so for the positives, and this is really more the conversation, why move into a master's? And I'm not even going to get into the third-party reimbursement, because how long have we talked about that?
A long time.
And I just,
time.
And again, I'm a traditionalist. That's not my thing, so I'm not even going to deal with it. I do teach my students how to do it, and that's great. I like my students being in the traditional setting. So what's that going to do for you? The direction that they're looking at being brought into our scope of practice. Some things that should be in our scope of practice because we do them anyway. And in Texas, we've got a very nice law that allows us to do a lot of things as long as we're working with our physician. A lot of states don't have that. A lot of states, I've got friends that work in all the states, and the things they have to go through to be able to do a simple mobilization with movement. I mean, I can move this ankle because we need movement to make it better. And in some states, they have to get special permission to be able to do that. That's ridiculous. Other things that I know some athletic trainers do, they're looking at being able to actually officially read and order x-rays. I know a lot of athletic trainers that do that anyway, and they have that agreement with their physician, which is fine. In Texas, we can do that. But if that's in our normal scope of practice, could that improve your practice? Possibly. Now I can officially look at that x-ray and say, oh, yeah, that is broken. They're looking at adding more emergency services. So if you look at not becoming paramedics, but having more of the skill sets that a paramedic has. So I can do some emergency medications. I can do some more advanced, I can officially read an EKG. That's a whole nother topic about whether we're going to have more EKGs or not in high schools. But right now, in our normal scope of practice as an athletic trainer, you've never been taught to do that.
Nope.
Right? It's an additional thing. Now, maybe you and your physician or you did some extra training, great. And that's a wonderful thing, and you can do it again. Great laws in the state of Texas. But how about building that into our scope of practice? How about being able to order labs? Hey, a kid's sick, and, I want to do a strep swab on him. You can't officially read that strip. Why can't you? A nurse can. So, things like that, a lot of us do as athletic trainers anyway, but it's not officially in that body of knowledge that we call our scope of practice as a national association. So, to fix that, and that's where this conversation came from, to be able to get these things that a lot of us are doing anyway into our scope of practice. And I've run into this problem as a program director. How do I build that into my curriculum? At the same time, the federal government's saying, I can only have, your degree has to be 120 hours. At Howard Payne, our athletic training major is 48 hours right now. We're the second, or maybe the largest academic major number of hours. And that's to meet our current standard in athletic training. If we start adding in more competencies, where am I going to put them? How am I going to build them into this program? If we move into a master's program, as a program director, that frees me up. I don't have to worry about, are you passing your English 1 class? Right? You're done with all that. We're just doing athletic training now. Now I can really focus on those competencies. Now, okay, yeah, bring me more stuff to teach you. Let's expand our scope of practice. As a program director now, I have a hard time with that at undergraduate. We can meet the standard now, but I tell you, and I tell all these students, talking to them today here at the GHATS student workshop, I want you to come to my program. I want you to be, but I will also tell you, honestly, we're one of the hardest programs on campus because of what you have to do to meet and to learn all the competencies. And anybody who's been through it knows that. You've experienced that. And so I can see going into the master's because that's going to give me a lot more freedom and give. If you remember back when you were doing your undergraduate, how much easier it would have been if all you had to focus on was athletic training classes?
A lot easier.
Yeah, and I know you did the graduate program too at Texas Tech. Right, okay. Natalie does a great program. But how much easier would that be if you're not having to worry about all this stuff because you've already done it?
Well, no, it's a ton easier.
It's a ton easier. And we can do more hands-on. Plus, talk about, and I don't mind putting this on the air, my retention rate in my program is anywhere from 25 to 50% in the freshman year. Now, once you make it your sophomore year, we're like 80, 90%. I don't tend to lose my students after that. But there's a maturity aspect to this. How much can you rely on the college freshmen? And college freshmen today aren't like college freshmen used to be. Not trying to be negative, but they're not. And so there's maturity aspect, and then there's all the things that's happening in your college life. Again, if I'm trying to treat you to be a really good professional, which I think we do a really good job of, and I think all of our undergraduate programs do a really good job of, how much easier, me as a program director, is that going to be on a master's level?
Well, no.
Yeah. And I'm one of the ones who wanted to keep it an undergraduate. So what we're going to do at Howard Payne, our plan is, again, like I said, we're going to teach up to 2022. And then we're also developing our master's program. We're also going to keep our undergraduate program. And it's going to be more of it's going to be meet all the requirements for state licensure, as long as we still have state licensure. It's going to meet those requirements, so we'll could be a state licensed athletic trainer. I'm going to develop into more of a pre-AT, so going into the master's program. We'll probably put a little bit more emphasis on expanding it to maybe pick up more pre-PT, pre-OT, pre-MD kind of thing. So it'll be probably a little bit more general than we are right now. But it'll still make sure we have all the classes and everything we need to do for the state. So I still think we're going to put out good quality athletic trainers, even if they're going to be undergraduate, state licensed athletic trainers. But then we'll also have that, okay, now we also have the master's program. You can go into that. But again, that's 2022.
Well, as of what it looks like right now, whenever the rollout for the BOC change happens, if you're staying KD accredited, you stay KD accredited.
Yeah.
If you don't transition into the entry-level masters or post-professional masters, you'll lose your KD accreditation.
Right.
But it's not like your campus is going to not have an athletic training
Right.
department.
No. Yeah. We're and again,
And
our
not you.
yeah. Well, no. Well, I'm just saying our administration is 100% on board for going to the masters, and we got our officials' seal of approval last spring, so it's been a year. And we knew this was coming all along. And our administration, hey, we know we're going to be transitioning. We know this is going to happen. We know we're going to keep an undergraduate program, but why not get it now? Why stop? Or some schools, I won't name names, tried to do this immediate jump, and now they don't have any program at all. And I think those are the ones we've seen crash. Talking to the program directors in the 14 currently accredited programs, of course, some of those are already graduate programs, but especially the undergraduate programs, we're all in the same boat, and from what our administrations are saying, the same sort of thing. No, we love our athletic training program. We love our athletic training students. If that means we keep an undergraduate program that's state licensure and then build a master's program, schools love that because, that's 2 more years we get students to pay for us.
Right.
And so, I don't see any other programs crashing. There probably will be. Somebody's going to crash along the way. So I don't see this big drop in programs.
Right. So when the change happens,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be a huge, like cataclysmic event to where even
No.
if you have internship only right now,
Mm-hmm.
and you send your kids off to
Mhm.
advance if they want,